Have you ever opened your phone or tablet, stared at all the buttons and apps and thought, when did all this get so complicated? You're definitely not the only one. There's something about the pace of technology today that can feel like it's always just a step ahead of us. New updates, new icons, new passwords. It's enough to make anyone want to toss the whole thing out the window and go back to simpler times. But here's the thing. Technology isn't just for the young. It never has been. It's for anyone who wants to stay connected, learn new things, or make life a little easier. And if you're in your 60s or 70s and feel like you missed the boat, I'm here to tell you, you haven't. Not even close. You're right on time. Because digital mastery after 60 isn't about becoming a tech expert. It's about confidence. It's about learning just enough to feel in control. Whether you're texting your grandkids, looking up a recipe, managing your health online, or keeping your information safe. And honestly, once you get the hang of a few simple things, the whole digital world starts to feel a lot less scary and a lot more useful. So let's take a deep breath together. You're not behind. You're just beginning a new chapter. In this video, we're going to go through 7 practical tech tips that every senior should know, things that can help you feel more comfortable, more secure, and more connected in today's digital world. Let's start with something that causes more frustration than just about anything else: passwords. If you've ever forgotten a password and ended up locked out of your email, your bank, or even your favorite online game, you know how maddening it can be. And with every site asking for a different password with numbers, symbols, capital letters, it's enough to make you want to give up entirely. But here's a trick that works wonders. Create one strong, memorable core password and then customize it just a little for each site. For example, you might use something like Tulip 1952 as your core because tulips are your favorite flower and 1952 is the year you were born. Then, for your email account, you could add EM at the end, so it becomes Tulip 1952 EM. For your bank, maybe Tulip 1952 BK. That way you only have to remember one base and just tweak it slightly depending on the site. And if remembering even that feels like too much, there are safe tools called password managers that store all your passwords in one place, locked behind one master key. You only need to remember that one password and the rest are handled for you. It's like having a digital notebook that never forgets, never spills coffee, and never leaves your side. Now, once you're in your accounts, especially things like Facebook, YouTube, or even your online banking, you might notice those little pop-ups that say, "Enable two-step verification" or "Turn on extra security." And you might wonder, do I really need this? The answer is yes, but it's easier than it sounds. This second tip is about staying safe. Scams have gotten smarter. The days of poorly written emails are over. Now, scams can look like messages from your bank, your phone company, even your family. That's why something called two-factor authentication is such a big deal. It simply means that even if someone guesses your password, they still can't get into your account unless they also have access to your phone. Think of it like this. Your front door has a lock, your password, but two-factor adds a second lock, a keypad, or a special key that only you have. It might be a code sent by text or a quick tap on your phone. It takes just a few seconds and it gives you so much more protection. And while we're talking about phones, let's touch on this third tip, one that a lot of people overlook: adjusting the settings so your device actually works for you. Most phones and tablets are made for younger eyes and fast fingers, but you don't have to squint or strain to use yours. Did you know you can make the text bigger, or that you can slow down the touchscreen sensitivity so you don't accidentally open 5 apps just by brushing your hand across the screen? In your settings, whether it's an iPhone, Android, or tablet, there's usually a section called Accessibility. That's where you can adjust the font size, increase contrast, or even enable voice typing, so you can speak your texts or emails instead of tapping them out. One small change in those settings can make the whole experience feel calmer, easier, and actually enjoyable. And that's what this is really about. making the tech in your life work for you, not the other way around. Now, I know that even with all this, there's still a little voice that might say, "What if I mess it up?" And I want you to hear this clearly. You won't. And even if you do, there's almost always a way to fix it. That's the beauty of the digital world. It's not made of glass, it's made of code, and code can be undone. You are not too old to learn something new. Your brain is still capable of growing, adapting, and surprising you. You've lived through decades of change. This is just one more. And you don't have to learn everything, just enough to stay connected to the people and things you love. Because the truth is, digital mastery after 60 isn't about catching up. It's about reaching out. It's about making sure the tools that are shaping today's world don't leave you out. They invite you in. Now that you've begun to see how simple adjustments can make a big difference, let's talk about something that's becoming more and more important every year. Recognizing scams before they have a chance to fool you. It's unfortunate, but a lot of today's online trickery is aimed at older adults. Not because you're not smart, far from it, but because scammers assume you might not be familiar with how these digital traps are set. They're hoping you'll panic when you see a pop-up that says your device is infected, or that you'll click a link in an email that looks like it's from your bank when it's actually fake. But here's the truth. You don't need to be a tech wizard to spot a scam. All you need is a few simple rules of thumb, and you'll outsmart most of them every time. The first one is this. If something feels urgent or scary, pause before clicking. Real companies, your bank, the IRS, Microsoft, don't send threats by email or ask for your password out of the blue. If a message says something like, "Your account will be shut down unless you act immediately," that's your red flag. Scammers want you to react fast and think later. So give yourself permission to slow down. If you're ever unsure, you can always close the message and contact the company directly using a phone number you trust, not the one in the suspicious message. That one step can protect you from a lot of heartache. Also, never give out private information, like your social security number or bank details, through text, email, or a website that you didn't seek out yourself. When in doubt, ask someone you trust to take a look with you. It's not a sign of weakness, it's wisdom. And wisdom is something you have in abundance. Now, let's move from defense to something a little more fun. Exploring new things online without getting overwhelmed. A lot of people over 60 tell me they'd love to use their devices for more than just calls or checking the weather, but they don't know where to start. Here's a good rule to live by. Treat your device like a bookshelf. You don't have to read every book, just the ones that interest you. Let's say you love gardening. There are YouTube channels with step-by-step videos on growing everything from basil on your windowsill to roses in your backyard. You can watch real people share their favorite techniques, show you how to trim plants, and even troubleshoot problems like brown leaves or pesky bugs. Or maybe you've always wanted to learn something new, like how to speak a few words of Italian, or how to paint with watercolors. There are free apps and websites like Duolingo or Skillshare that break these down into bite-sized lessons. You can go at your own pace, stop when you need to, and revisit anything that didn't make sense the first time. The beauty of online learning is that you're in control. You don't have to keep up with anyone else. You just have to stay curious. And chances are you'll discover something that brings a spark to your day. Maybe even something that becomes a whole new hobby. And while you're exploring, there's one more thing you should know. How to clean up your digital space so it feels less cluttered and more comfortable. You wouldn't leave your kitchen full of old dishes or your living room piled with junk mail, right? Well, your phone, tablet, or computer is no different. Over time, it collects extra apps you never use, notifications you don't need, and open tabs or files that just sit there causing confusion. Take a few minutes to organize it. Delete apps you haven't used in months. Turn off notifications that don't matter to you, like games you don't play or ads from stores you're not interested in. You can even move your most used apps or websites to the front page, like setting your favorite chair by the window. Think of this step as making your device yours. Not some machine full of things other people want you to see, but a tool built around you, your habits, your comfort, and your peace of mind. And while we're on the subject of peace of mind, here's something else I want to encourage you to do. Back up your memories. Photos, voice messages, old texts from loved ones. These are the little treasures that live on your device. But unless they're backed up, meaning saved somewhere safe outside your phone, they can be lost if your device ever breaks, gets stolen, or just stops working. Luckily, you don't need to be a tech expert to back things up. If you have a Google account or an iPhone, you likely already have access to cloud storage. That's just a fancy way of saying your files are saved online, where they won't disappear. You can also transfer special photos to a USB stick or email them to yourself for safekeeping. The key here is to think ahead. You've lived a life worth remembering. Don't let those moments be one phone crash away from vanishing. So, to recap where we've been without stopping the flow too much, we've talked about protecting yourself from scams, using technology to enjoy your interests, cleaning up your digital space, and making sure your memories are safe. Each one of these habits is a small step, but together they build something far more valuable: confidence. That feeling of "I can do this" is what keeps your mind sharp and your world open. You don't need to master everything overnight. All it takes is trying one thing, then another, and slowly you'll find your way. There's something incredibly empowering about learning something new, especially when it's something you once thought wasn't meant for you. And if you've made it this far with me, that tells me you've already taken that brave first step. You've decided that this world of buttons and swipes and updates won't leave you behind. That mindset alone makes you stronger, sharper, and more capable than you realize. Now, let's take a moment to talk about communication, because at its core, that's really what technology is. It's a tool to connect, to reach out, to say, "I'm thinking of you," even from across the world. But sometimes, for those over 60, digital communication can feel cold or complicated. The truth is, with a few thoughtful adjustments, it can become not only manageable, but meaningful. Let's begin with something simple but powerful: video calls. Whether it's FaceTime, Zoom, WhatsApp, or Google Meet, video calling is one of the greatest gifts technology offers, especially if your loved ones live far away. You can see your granddaughter smile when she shows you her art project, or watch your friend laugh instead of just hearing it on the phone. At first, you might feel a little awkward with the buttons or camera angle. That's okay. Everyone feels that way at the beginning. Try a few short calls with a patient family member or friend. Let them guide you through it. And remember, you don't have to get everything perfect. If they can see your face and hear your voice, you're doing it right. And here's a little secret: the more you do it, the more natural it feels. You'll start to look forward to those calls, not just as check-ins, but as real, joyful moments of connection. Now, what about text messages or emails? You may already use them, but if you've ever hesitated to send a message because you weren't sure what to write or worried you'd accidentally delete something, you're not alone. Here's what I tell people all the time: it's not about being clever or fast, it's about staying connected. Your family and friends would rather hear from you in a simple sentence than not at all. "Just thinking of you today," or "Hope you're well." That's all it takes to brighten someone's day. And if typing on a small screen is tricky, remember you can use voice typing on most smartphones. Just tap the little microphone icon on your keyboard and speak your message. It'll type for you, no thumbs required. Now that you're feeling more comfortable with the tools of connection, there's one final piece to this digital puzzle. Something that brings everything together and keeps it all running smoothly. And that's learning how to update your device. I know. Those little pop-up messages that say "Update available" can feel a bit annoying or even intimidating. You might think, if I click the wrong thing, will I break it? But updates are actually there to protect you. They fix bugs, improve features, and keep your device running safely and securely. The key is to schedule them when you're not in a hurry. Maybe in the evening after dinner or while you're reading a book. Let the device do its thing, It might restart on its own, and that's perfectly normal. When it turns back on, it's like giving your phone or tablet a little tune-up, kind of like taking your car in for an oil change. And if ever something doesn't seem right after an update, don't panic. You can ask for help. You're never too old to ask questions, and you're certainly never too old to learn. At the end of the day, this whole journey, this path toward digital mastery, it's not about the tech. It's about your independence, your confidence, your ability to stay informed, stay connected, and stay engaged in a world that's changing fast. I want you to remember this. You've already adapted to so many changes in your life. You've raised families, managed careers, learned how to handle setbacks, and grown through every decade. Technology is just one more chapter in that story. It's not here to confuse you. It's here to serve you. So be proud of every little step you've taken, from creating stronger passwords, to recognizing scams, to joining a video call or organizing your apps. Each of those moments is a reminder that you are not standing still. You are growing, evolving, still curious, still powerful. And if you found this helpful, I want to invite you to share something in the comments. What's one tech habit you've learned recently? Or what's one thing you'd like to learn next? Maybe it's how to send photos, or organize your inbox, or even start a blog about your life experiences. Whatever it is, this space is for you. A community of lifelong learners who know it's never too late to try. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like more tips like these, gentle, helpful, and made just for you, click that subscribe button. I make every video with you in mind because I believe life after 60 is not a winding down. It's a widening up. Here's to mastering your digital life one click at a time. And here's to living boldly at any age.